The following was taken from the compilation of love letters written by Sir Niven Gilchrist, son of Sir Duncan Gilchrist, 25th King of Gatsby and Lord of Monsoon Town in the archipelago of Caum, to Lady Clarita Dolores Gilchrist, née Quijano, during the turbulent Third Island Crusade among the island countries of Caum, or the Swordlands. On the 23rd day of Midfall, year 6262. My dearest C.D., it is with great pleasure that I write to you again after all this time. After escaping that dreadful pit of damnation of a prison, Tombgate, I now continue my journey eastward into the Swordlands towards the fabled city of Sulthora, the city of sin, the metropolis of madness, the abode of excess, and where it is said that the way to the abyss has been opened. The stormy Pelican, my warship, has been sunk beneath the sea by foul island sorcery. They unleashed upon us a sea monster of epic proportions that shattered our mighty vessel in its powerful tentacles. The creature, likely a spawn of Zorl, tore apart the stormy Pelican as if it was nothing more than a collection of twigs. Alas, most of our ship's crew were slain in the great battle at sea, drowning beneath the turbulent waves. Those of us who were left were gathered by the Caumish servants of the Void Gods and were taken to Tombgate, that awful prison of death and damnation. There were many prisoners there, some of whom were crusaders like you and me, hailing from Mondervale and its 7 continents. Most of them were Caumish, the islander natives of the Swordlands. Savage, certainly, but much friendlier than those that brought me and the survivors of the stormy Pelican to Tombgate. Fortunately, though, I encountered 6 other prisoners who were mystics like myself, though hailing from the other continents and nations. There was Gyong, a shinobi from Edonwa, and an indigo mystic, a scholar of the shadows and deception. There was Maximo, a gladiator from Ilreus, and a yellow mystic, a master of machines. There was Anika of Anethu, and a red mystic, a shaper of skin and flesh. There was Yaxkin, a blood hunter from Undago, and a green mystic, a liege of life and nature. There was Imogen, a Viking from Ogheim and an orange mystic, a leader of light and healing. Lastly, there was Fleischer, a harlequin of Woltar and violet mystic, a dealer of death and decay. With me, a blue mystic knight from Ivalor, we were able to plan and execute a daring escape from Tombgate. Sadly, some of the prisoners who aided us perished in the effort. However, thankfully, Tombgate itself was destroyed and those it held captive for so long were set free. The remnants of the crew of the stormy Pelican chose to return to Mondervale aboard some boats we had found along the coast. A decision that I respected and honored, as I knew well how terrifying the journey had proven to be so far. As for me and my 6 new companions, however, we chose to journey on towards the heartlands of Caum to join the Third Island Crusade. As we traveled, we came upon an island inhabited by a peaceful tribe of islanders. Such encounters are extremely rare, as most Caumish folk we've encountered so far have proven to be savage and cruel, much like the outlanders who invaded our lands all those centuries ago. Many of the inhabitants of Caum are oath-bound to the deities of emptiness and are all but impossible to reason with. The islanders we found, though primitive, were surprisingly willing to work with us, even if we seemed strange to them. They reminded me of the well-meaning prisoners of Tombgate who were held against their will in that horror of a prison. Indeed, barbaric as they were, I saw in them a willingness to learn and become more than just mere savages in an island country. The same could be said about this tribe of islanders that we had found during our search for food and supplies to maintain our boat. Based on my observation, they had already been influenced by the earlier crusades that came to the Swordlands all those centuries ago. They offered us various foodstuffs in the form of pineapple and venison in exchange for finding two of the tribe's lost children, a girl and a boy who were beloved by the entire village. I was about to tell the islanders that we mystics were forbidden from accepting rewards for performing acts of altruism, such as locating lost children, when Yaxkin, the blood hunter, stopped me. She told me that we needed all the help we could get, and she and the rest were famished. Additionally, it was the Cowmish who made the offer, and thus we were not in any violation of our vows to the archangels, since we never asked for any kind of reward. We agreed to their offer, accepting a fine meal of deer meat and slices of pineapple. They even gave us coconut whiskey, which the islanders called lambanog, which we accepted but didn't drink just yet. Gyong told us that it would be best we save it for a rainy day, which I couldn't help but agree with. Besides, past experiences that involve being inebriated while attempting to do something important have never ended well, at least based on what I've learned. Before we set off into the dense jungle, we were met by the tribe's leader, Datu Mangayon, a man of considerable stature. He informed us that the children were a girl by the name of Isa, who was the older of the two at 16, and Obet, a boy who was only 10. According to the Datu meaning chieftain among these islanders, in case no one has told you yet, the children were likely bewitched by a woman named Mona, who was long suspected of being a witch and a worshipper of the divinities of the abyss. Datu Mangayon went on to tell us that the two children were not the first to be taken by the witch, and that there were more than a few of them that had been abducted by this Mona for 3 years now. Datu Mangayon then introduced us to his wife, Donita, who knew more about Mona and told us what she knew. The chieftain's wife was a small woman with Edonese features, with short dark hair, a pale complexion, and sharp eyes. As she told us more about the situation the tribe faced, the more I came to realize the depths of danger the tribe was in. Apparently, the troubles began more than 3 years ago, when the disappearances first began. It started with animals, mostly livestock, with cows and goats disappearing into the night. Their bodies would be found at dawn, broken and bleeding. It was as if their bodies were crushed by some large object, or if they had fallen from a great height. While many believed it to be the work of witches or voidists, no trace of the culprit had ever been found. Things took a turn for the worse, however, when children began to vanish from the village one by one. Unlike the livestock, these children were never seen again and were presumed dead by the villagers. Other than Isa and Abed, there are believed to be a dozen or so children that had been taken from the village already by the witch. When we asked Donita how Mona turned against the village, it was actually Yaxkin who asked the question. The chieftain's wife hesitated momentarily. She then went on to tell us that it was likely out of jealousy that Mona turned against them. She told us that Mona was a relative newcomer to the village who, being a witch, was able to cast a spell on the children to make them like her. However, when Donita saw what she had been doing, she forbade the children from speaking to the witch and told the other villagers about Mona's true nature. In the end, the villagers chased Mona away due to the danger she posed to the village. The witch fled into the dense jungle that dominated the rest of the island, and most people believed that Mona resided now on one of the hills in the wilderness in a small hut she had built for herself. Since then, it is believed that Mona would stalk the night, snatching village children she encountered and taking them to her abode in the woods. These last two children, Isa and Obet, were just her most recent victims, and with the help of mystics like the seven of us, perhaps there was still a way to rescue them. Donita believed that the children were still alive out there somewhere and hadn't yet been brought to Mona's abode. I write this now as the sun sets over the island, the dusk giving way to the darkness. I ask why we couldn't just search for the children in the woods at night, as I strongly believe that our combined esoteric knowledge could provide sufficient protection from the witch's power. Also, I thought that the sooner the children were found, the better, a sentiment shared by both Maximo and Gyong. Donita disagreed, however, telling us that there might be forces at work that might be too strong for us should we decide to venture out into the night. She told us that whatever monsters that were up and about were surely stronger at night, and that if we were found pursuing the children, Mona might command the monsters to end their lives prematurely. For surely, Donita insisted to us, the children were intended as sacrifices, as it was with the animals that were slain, as well as with the children that were taken before Isa and Obed. Donita also warned us that Mona somehow had the power to manipulate animals to do her bidding, a claim that was supported by some of the other villagers. I noted that Yakskin took an interest in this since, being a green mystic, she knew more about the inner workings of nature and living things than most people. Anyway, according to Donita, Mona had somehow bewitched most of the animals in the woods, including a ferocious pack of wolves, a gargantuan bear, and swarms of bees, ants, and hornets. The others and I pondered over this carefully before reluctantly agreeing to stay for at least one night at a hut specifically prepared for us by Datu Mangayon. This is how I found time enough to write to you in this most perilous and troubled of times. I pray dearly that by tomorrow afternoon we will have found the children and returned them safely to their village. Take care, my love. Nibs.